don't let that idea of unbalance, ruin your life, both your love life and your relationship, but everything.
Yeah.
And that can happen. This isn't a disability thing. This happens to people all over of everything: color, creed, age, religion, disability. Everybody, the whole world can be in a relationship where their fear does something to who's in control. And that there is even someone in control. Because I think it's quite important that even people that I know from the fetish scene that are all into control are not in relationships like that. And if they are, it never works.
Yeah.
They're in a relationship where it's equal. So you might be afraid that, you're not bringing something to the table. Disability has its interesting things we've already discussed, that society makes you feel a certain way and that kind of stuff. So you feel unbalanced. And if you do that, immediately things are going to go wrong. So it's really important to be okay with yourself. And they say, you can't find love till you learn to love yourself. This is kind of what I mean.
Yeah.
It's about being okay with who you are and having the confidence to know that. Because like we said, there's this working at a relationship, but it's very easy to find yourself in a relationship where your fear and internal lack of confidence is played on by someone else. And we regularly think that's because they're rotten and horrible and they're kind of abusive. Lots of the times, in my experience, is because they also have a whole load of fear and unbalance about their ability to keep a relationship. And so they play on you. And it's a bit like picking a thread. They see the thread and they pick it and they go, oh, that was easy. Oh, great. Oh, yeah, I got you. And suddenly you're falling to pieces and they're feeling really confident because they've ruined your life because you've allowed them to do that because you've got all this unbalance.
Yeah.
So I think it's, and I've had that a lot. Well, not a lot, but there's been one or two relationships in my life where I really just fell off a cliff, allowing the person I was with to pull me to pieces. And it took many, many years to get back. And then you find yourself, say that all ends, then you're in pieces. And then you find yourself doing loads of things you don't want to do. You end up with people you don't want to be with. You end up, kind of breaking other people's hearts because you've hardened yours and all this kind of stuff. So it's really, really important. And this especially goes to lots of people out there who maybe aren't very experienced, but haven't had a long relationship history. Because I think that us old duffers have had it and come out the other end. But for you, if you haven't had it yet, it's really important to spot the signs.
Yeah.
And like I said, my wife had someone that said, you laugh too much. That was an unbalance. Yeah. He felt like he wasn't good enough for her. So he picked at her until she felt and lost it. And then he was in control.
Mm.
I went out with a girl. I was in a band. And she used to complain that I went to band rehearsals because I wasn't with her.
Yeah.
But yet we'd met when I was doing a gig. It was like, what? Right? But yeah, I started going to rehearsals less. So then she spotted it. Bang, that was it. Next thing you know, I'd been ripped to shreds. And I look back on that period of my life and think of all the opportunities I didn't take, all the people I didn't talk to because she didn't like them. And stuff like that. And it's really sad because basically it's also made her life rotten because she spent loads of time with me. I obviously was not the right person for her. She wasn't the right person for me. We should have split apart. She could have gone off and met someone right. I could have been doing whatever I wanted to do. And I suppose, in a way, I'm going to add one tip just quickly, which is don't. So before I do that, my exercise is this.
Yeah.
Think of 5 positives. So we've done lots of positive stuff. Now I want you to think about 5 positives that you bring to a relationship that someone should love. Do you know what I mean? So you've got the 5 bits about yourself that you like. You've got all this good stuff. That's all about internal.
Yeah, this is what you give to someone else.
What is it that means that this balance isn't right? That you're seeing a unbalance that isn't there, so to speak. So you know, we've said all about cooking and that, but this is more about emotional and love and stuff like that. What is it that means that the scales are put back? So you're with your dream partner. What is it about you that they will love that makes the balance right?
Yeah,
That gets the balance right. So, well, you see, 80s boy there, you see. But yeah, I think that's really important, because now you've got this great big list of things that are good about you, that are positive. You know what you're looking for, and all of that is fantastic, right? And I've forgotten what the last idea that I came up with was now. That'll teach me not to speak. This is one of the things, you see, that I know that I bring to a relationship. Right? It's fun, but also very annoying. If I don't say stuff immediately, it goes. So Diane will be talking to me. I'll go to say something will happen, and then she'll come back and go, so what were you saying? And I'll go, and she'll be like, oh, for God's sake, Nick. Right? But that's just, that's it. It's kind of, she calls me her beautiful airhead, because I am. It's nothing there. It's all empty. The other thing she describes me as is Paddington.
Right.
Because I have the ability to make a mess when, I could be in a sterile operating theatre, but they'd turn away, come back, and I'd be covered in stuff and there'd be sellotape everywhere. How did you do this? Because I am the world's messiest human being. But luckily she finds it cute, unless it's my paperwork, in which case it's not. But yeah, so kind of, and I think if anything, don't let the world put you off love. It's great. Right.
And what I liked about your last point, I think, as well, was that we are sometimes scared of being alone. And I think you've mentioned it through the tips, but it is fine, almost better to be single than with someone that is bad for you.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think that, especially when you're disabled, I mean, for everyone, but I know myself internally, I was so sure I was going to be unlovable. But when I found I wasn't, I found the thought of being single so terrifying. Mm-hmm. I honestly, I first went out with a girl once I became a wheelchair user. I had a couple of dates when I was disabled but could walk. But I went in the wheelchair and I got a girlfriend about 18. So 2 years after I went in the chair, 3 years after I went in the chair. Mm-hmm. From that day onwards, I was never single. Right? And I think that made me a very difficult person to be with when I finally met the person I love, Diane, my wife. And I think that's why it took us a year to get back. She'd got her baggage, I'd got my baggage. And that's, like you said, I think it's absolutely right that it came from the fact that I wasn't ever single. I never had time to get my head straight.
Yeah.
So if you are single and, and it's like, oh, well, no one's going out with me because I'm disabled. Again, we're back to that thing of it's better to not be with someone than to be with someone who is kind of almost sympathy shagging you. And I say that from experience, because I went out, when I was young, I would ask out girls, and some of them would go, no, couldn't do that. And I remember one girl saying, I'll have to think about it. And I went, well, don't think about it. It's not a test. Or you don't. If you're going to think about it, that's a no. Yeah. Thank you very much. See ya. And that's better than having someone say, oh, yeah, cool. And then later on you discover that they're actually not sure, but they're kind of doing it because they don't want their mates to see them tell a bloke in a chair no.
Yeah.
So, and you get that. So yeah, you're right. Being single is better as long as you don't spend the time becoming more and more depressed about being single. Yeah. So if you are single, use your time to fill your life with fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
art, music, sport, whatever I mean, like when I was young, no girls liked football, right? So if you wanted to if you wanted to go looking for love, football wasn't it, right? So basically that's where all boys went to get away from girls, right? It's also where lots of my gay friends went to go on the pool, but we won't talk about it. But anyway, but now it's much more mixed. Everyone loves football. Yeah. So you could really like football. You could go regularly to your football match, right? And then you might find yourself talking to someone. Like I said, I met my wife in a nightclub. But, it could have been an art gallery. We both love art. It could have been at a dance recital, because Diane used to be a dancer. We both love the ballet. It could have been anywhere. And that's the thing. But if I was, so say I'm single, go to the ballet, might meet my partner in the dreams, or an art gallery, or a football match, or anything. So when you're single, don't just sort of go, oh, I'm single, no one loves me. Think about it as a time when you work on yourself. You have fun, you go out, you see the world, you seize the day, which makes you really attractive because you're happy.
Yeah.
The one thing that people are looking for is someone who looks happy. Yeah. Because that happiness is what they want. They want happy. And you'll find it, you'll be in a room and you'll think they look like they're having a really good time. They look very sexy. And they may, but you've got your list of what you're looking for, and you might have written down a load of physical attributes. And then you look up and you think, well, they're none of the attributes I was looking for, but they look like they're fun. I must go and talk to them. And because you've got all of your good points listed, you will go and talk to them. Because that's the other thing. Don't let that lack of confidence stop you saying hello.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking, well, they won't fancy me because I'm disabled. And they might be sitting there going, what a rumoured gits. Oh, don't they look sweet? Oh, I might go and, oh, do I go and talk to them? I don't know, because we all know that non-disabled people panic at talking to us, and disabled people don't want to be seen talking to the only other disabled person in the room, because then it looks like we all know each other. So we're both sitting at the other going, so be the one that makes the first move. Hi, how are you doing? Hey, right? And, you know, say you use talk technology, you might have a whole load of chat-up lines programmed. I know people that do that. They're very successful, very successful. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for the tips, though, man. I think everyone's going to get a lot out of the words of wisdom and then the exercise. I think it's really good to urge everyone to do them, because it obviously helps to put into action what you've lived through, what you've experienced, but to apply it to them. So really big thanks.
One more. I'm going to give you one more exercise, folks. Yeah, yeah. And this is it. I want you all to go out and do one thing that you love.
Boom. That's best action.
That's it. So as we go and say goodbye, I want you all to go out and do something fun, right? Yeah. See what happens.
Awesome.
Brilliant.